It's Thursday, February 23. In the headlines, in local news, Jamaica's economy to grow this year. In business news, DOMREP businesses encouraged to invest in Jamaica. Regionally, Haitian PM says CARICOM needs to lead the way to bring stability to that country. Internationally, February 24 is the first year anniversary of the Russian-Ukraine war, cited as one of the greatest humanitarian crises of the modern age. And in sports, Haiti and Jamaica headed to Women's World Cup, while Jamaican sprinter Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is nominated for Laureus World Sports Woman of the Year. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I am Maya Chung. Jamaica's economy is projected to grow in the range of 1% to 3% this fiscal year. That data was shared by the Planning Institute of Jamaica at their quarterly press briefing this week. Simone Absalom Gale has that report.
Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, says the projected growth would largely reflect a faster than expected pace of recovery in the previous fiscal year.
This reflected higher real value added for both the goods producing industry, up 2.1%, and the services industry, up 6%. All industries are estimated to have recorded growth in output, with the exception of the construction and mining and quarrying industries.
He also informed that Jamaica's economy is estimated to have grown by 5.1% between January and December 2022.
The estimated outturn for the review quarter largely reflected the positive impact of, one, a strengthening of economic activity, as some industries showed signs of returning to and surpassing their pre-COVID levels of output. Two, increased external demand, supported by growth in the economies of Jamaica's main trading partners. Three, increased capacity utilization, as a major alumina producer ramped up production following their reopening in the previous quarter. And four, increased business and consumer confidence, associated with the prospects for strengthened economic outturn in the short to medium term.
Dr. Henry says the economy is estimated to have grown by 3.4% for the October to December 2022 quarter.
Growth during 2022 was led by hotels and restaurants, up 48.9%, other services, up 11.1%, agriculture, forestry and fishing, up 9%, and transport, storage and communication, up 6%.
He says the services industry grew by an estimated 3%, reflecting higher real value added for all industries, except wholesale and retail trade, repair and installation of machinery.
Lower sales were recorded for 6 of the 8 goods categories, including wholesale and repair of household goods and office equipment, down 12.8%, hardware, building supplies, electrical goods and machinery, down 11.6%, motor vehicles, auto repairs and accessories, down 4.1%, and agriculture, food, beverages and tobacco, down 2.2%.
Dr. Henry notes, however, that the fourth sub-industry, construction, declined by 4.7%. Electricity and water supply was up by 1.7%, and finance and insurance services up by 1%. They were the other industries recording growth. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Simone Absalom Gale.
And less people have died on Jamaica's roads since the start of the year. The National Road Safety Council, NRSC, is reporting a 35% decline in road fatalities. NRSC Vice Chair Dr. Lucian Jones says some 47 people have died in road crashes so far this year, compared to 72 last year. He says the authorities will be pressing to ensure this trend continues. While Dr. Jones celebrates the decline, he is still lamenting that too many people are dying in traffic crashes. Dr. Jones is urging motorists to slow down and use seatbelts, including for backseat passengers. The new Road Traffic Act and regulations came into effect this month with an aim to stem the number of road traffic fatalities and other dangerous incidents on the nation's roads. The new legislation sees stiffer fines and penalties for motorists who flout the law. Jamaicans have been promised that their fiscal protection will and has already taken a priority focus with the government of Jamaica. As the nation's parliamentarians and government overall moves into its work in 2023, moving into 2024, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, in his throne speech to the nation during the ceremonial opening of Parliament on February 14, indicated that by 2024, Jamaica will see the appointment of the first fiscal commissioner to guard public financial interest at all levels. With astounding levels of fraud and robbery of members of the Jamaican public, the government, through its finance minister Nigel Clark, had indicated that aggressive action will be taken both in policy and criminal sentencing in this area to stop the incidents of fraud prior to them occurring.
In building our stronger Jamaica, government recognizes the importance of institutions to preserve and maintain our macroeconomic stability. During 2023-24, the government will appoint the Fiscal Commissioner and operationalize the Independent Fiscal Commission as a guardian of Jamaica's fiscal rules. It is also the intention to strengthen the regulations of the financial sector by unifying prudential supervision and regulation under the Bank of Jamaica, while pursuing the establishment of a separate regulator for market conduct and consumer protection.
In the meantime, the Governor General also advised of the climate change and environmental thrust to be taken by the government for 2023 into 2024.
The government continues to demonstrate its focus on the protection and preservation of Jamaica's environment for future generations through tangible actions. The Pedro Keys and surrounding waters have been designated as a protected area under the Natural Resources Conservation Act. In the new financial year, the government will table an overarching policy for Jamaica's protected areas system, the Watersheds Policy of Jamaica, the updated climate change policy framework.
It's now time for the Business Report with Danita Rodney.
Motorists will pay less for gas when they go to the pumps on Thursday. According to PetroJam, E1087 and E1090, down by $2.46, will sell for $168.01 and $171.98 per liter respectively. Down by $4.50 per liter, automotive diesel oil will sell for $201.53. Continuing with the $4.50 decrease, ultra low sulfur will sell for $212.26 and kerosene will sell for $210.04. In the meantime, propane cooking gas, down by $1.31 per liter, will sell for $70.26, while butane will sell for $78.52 per liter after a $1.48 decrease. Remember that retailers will add their own markups to the announced prices. Businesses in the Dominican Republic are being encouraged to invest and operate in Jamaica. Speaking at the opening of the first Dominican Week in Jamaica, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, encouraged investors gathered.
Jamaica is arguably the best tourism investment destination. Listen to me carefully. You're all from Damrep. We know you're big. We know you have Punta Cana. But I talk to the investors. And they tell me privately, the best return they get in Jamaica, so why aren't you more of you here? We're putting up 20,000 rooms. You better get here quickly. So I'm inviting you to come. Even though you have great tourism in Damrep, come to Jamaica. Your returns are really good. And as I said, we have a good system.
The sentiment was echoed by co-owner of Diestro Limited, a Dominican Republic company based in Jamaica.
This is a real paradise. This is Jamaica give opportunities to all of our companies. All of our companies in Jamaica is open always for business.
Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Tuesday, February 21, the US dollar sold for an average of $154.95. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $115.40. The pound sterling traded for $187.71, and the euro sold for an average of $168.28. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by 105 points. The junior market index declined by 0.41 points. The combined market index declined by 102 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 79 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 101 stocks, of which 42 advanced, 41 declined, and 18 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Verbal Preference, Berger Paints Jamaica Limited, and Blue Power Group Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Barita Investments Limited. Trading firm were Caribbean Cream Limited, Community and Workers of Jamaica CCU Deferred Share, and EPLI 7.50% preference shares due 2024. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 10 million units, Wisynco Group Limited ordinary shares, and Massey Holdings Limited with over 2 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calista Macro Index Fund was the only active security posting a volume of 54 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited was the volume leader with 8,000 shares. They were followed by First Caribbean International Bank, which traded 749 shares. In regional business, multiple airlines from Africa have expressed an interest in flying to Barbados. While not providing names of the carriers, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Goodin-Etchell says updated air services agreements are in place.
The beautiful thing of having updated air services agreement is that these agreements would allow the airline or any potential airline to not only fly to Barbados unencumbered, but also to drop, pick up, and move on to any point in between and to any end point, as they refer to in aviation jargon. We are also in discussion with a number of interested parties to see how best we can build out the Grantley Adams International Airport as a hub. Part of the strategy is building out Barbados as a hub has to do as well with what I would have announced on Monday, the expansion of the strategy to expand our footprint within the Latin American market, and to have that as a station in Panama, but also servicing with officers Argentina and Brazil, and obviously going right through South America. We believe that if, as part of this strategy, we have to put the resources behind the gateway and have our presence felt in the market. By doing so, we will continually build out the required, what I call soft infrastructure, in order to build out Barbados as that hub.
In international business, Wall Street ended broadly lower on Wednesday as investors remain cautious.
The S&P 500 extended its losing streak to 4 sessions Wednesday as Wall Street closed broadly down. Traders remain cautious despite the latest guidance on rate policy from the U.S. Central Bank showing few surprises. The Dow fell about 0.25%, the S&P dropped a little less than that, and the Nasdaq actually closed up 0.1%. Minutes from the Federal Reserve's January 31st to February 1st meeting said that almost all Fed officials agreed to slow the pace of increases in interest rates to 0.25 percentage point going forward. Despite agreement on that front, Liz Miller, president and founder of Summit Place Financial Advisors, said the Fed minutes also pointed to uncertainty, especially when it comes to the threat of recession.
In market data for oil prices firmed after Brent crude posted its biggest one-day loss for 7 weeks in the previous session, with gains on Russian supply curbs capped by an expected rise in U.S. inventories. Brent crude futures rose 84 cents to $81.44, and West Texas Intermediate crude futures advanced 80 cents to $74.75. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, in Antigua and Barbuda, Health Minister Malwin Josephs and other ministry officials are among those being praised for making kidney transplants a reality.
11 successful kidney transplants have so far been carried out, and consultant nephrologist Dr. Ian Thomas says it could not have happened without the support of the health ministry.
We were fortunate in that the Ministry of Health, led by the current Minister of Health, as well as the government, took when we went to them and I guess announced this crazy plan of ours to start transplants here, which sounded ridiculous knowing, our situation here in Antigua. They were on board from day one. So I think you need that sort of strong support to make it happen, because at the end of the day, resources are needed to do it. Yes, you may have the expertise, but if you don't have the resources are not made available, then it won't happen. So I have to give credit where credit is due. They helped.
He says well-trained professionals then collaborated to make the transplants possible. Antigua and Barbuda is now among the countries in the Anglophone Caribbean where kidney transplants are being done, with Jamaica having been the first. Meanwhile, Dr. Thomas gives an overview of how the recipients have done since their transplants.
We are 11 for 11 in terms of graft survival at 3 years. Subsequently, one of our patients did have recurrence of their original disease, so did eventually have to return to dialysis. That was about maybe 4 or 5 years after their transplant. And unfortunately, we did have one patient pass away a few years after transplant in their native country of complications of COVID. So that was quite disappointing. But otherwise, we have all kidneys are working.
Barbados will be forging ahead with foreign language and sign language training as it taps into the Latin American market. That's the word from Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Ian Gooding Edgehill.
The 3 languages that we have identified and that we have to pursue, those are Spanish, Portuguese, as well as French. That dovetails with the overall strategy, marketing strategy that we have in place, where we want to bring more visitors from France and those territories, French-speaking territories. We are also focusing on our quest to push the Latin American market, and we know that we have to have those skills in place along with Portuguese as we aggressively go after the Brazilian market.
I look forward to seeing significant progress on this language training immediately, as well as the general commitment to continue to train our workers to be the best that they can be. Barbados doesn't have the highest repeat visitor rate in the region for decades by accident, and therefore the worker component of our industry is critical as the sun, sea, and sand is the Beijing.
In a recent sit-down with Our News, the Prime Minister of Haiti talks to reporter Jerome Sawyer about what Haiti needs to get to a place of stability and who can help them get there.
I've been named, I'm not been elected, and I don't find that correct. We must go to election.
But before Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry can lead his country to elections, they are in desperate need of help by way of security and stability. He's part of a temporarily appointed government put in place since the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Last week, he asked fellow CARICOM leaders to broker talks sometime soon between the warring factions with the goal of ending the violence, poverty, and chaos.
The committee will have a meeting to encourage the stakeholders for a dialogue and to have some security in Haiti. The issue of security has been a very important one.
But resolving Haiti's problems isn't from a lack of trying. The U.S. and Canada are imposing sanctions. Henry says the reality is
the sanction has some effect in the reduction of the violence, but also in the behavior of the actors on the field. For the time being, sanctions, they are efficient, but sanction only will not solve the problem.
Meanwhile, neighbors like the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas are increasingly aggravated by the constant flow of illegal immigrants. Henry, sympathetic to the problem, says the solution is to fix Haiti.
And they are leaving Haiti because they are losing hope. So the best way to treat, in my point of view, the migration problem is to increase the level of the economy.
Sources inside Haiti tell us CARICOM-led talks could happen as early as next month.
In news from overseas, February 24th marks the one-year anniversary since Russian tanks rolled into Ukraine in what was the start of Moscow's full-blown invasion of its neighbor. The Russian aggression on Ukraine has caused the greatest humanitarian crisis in Europe since World War II. Already thousands of lives have been lost and millions of livelihoods have been disrupted through displacement, lost homes, and lost incomes. Al Jazeera gives an analysis on what has been the toll so far.
And this war specifically shows those who have died since the 24th of February 2022. But down the line there you have actually the pictures of all those soldiers who, a number of them who have died since the conflict started back in 2014. And up to the 24th of February, up to the invasion, well, that number was about 14,000. Now, we don't know how many soldiers have died since the invasion started, but we did hear from President Zelensky several times throughout the year that Ukraine is paying a high price. At some point during the summer, he did say that about 50 soldiers were dying per day, but we don't have a full figure of that. We also don't have a full figure how many civilians have died. The UN says that it has accounted of about 8,000, but it also says that that's only the tip of the iceberg, because there are places that have seen fierce battles, like Mariupol, for example. Nobody really knows the total number of people who lost their lives there. It was a very high number. It was a very fierce battle. Well, we don't have the full picture of that, and we don't have the full picture of many other places that are currently in battle. So yes, Ukraine is paying a very high price, not only since 24th of February 2022, but all the way back to 2014.
And of course, Hoda, this conflict is dividing families, both within Ukraine and across borders.
Absolutely. It's really a conflict that is tearing family apart. You mentioned earlier about all these families, mothers and children who had to leave the country for really to save their families, leaving behind their husbands, their sons, their brothers.
In sport, 2 CARICOM nations will be heading to Australia and New Zealand for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Here is Wayne Cunningham with the details from the World Cup playoffs.
Haiti will join Jamaica after winning Group B of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup playoffs with a 2-1 win over Chile on Wednesday at the North Harbour Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. qualifying for their first major tournament on the strength of a double from Melchi Dumornay. The Haitians took the lead in the first half added on time when Dumornay played a quick 1-2 combination with Roselord Borgella before beating a Chile defender to win the ball and strike it into the back of the net. The match was drama-filled with a near misses and even a penalty save by Chile's captain Christian Endler. Haiti got the well-deserved second item 8 minutes into second half added time as Dumornay again displayed her skill, getting an assist from Mondesir, firing the ball across the goal to make it 2-0. That was not the end though, as Chile never gave up and pulled the goal back. 2-1, 3 minutes later, off the boot of Maria Jose Rojas. But that was not enough in the end, as Haiti celebrated. Haiti became the 5th CONCACAF team to be present in Australia and New Zealand, joining the likes of the United States, Canada, Costa Rica, and Jamaica. Haiti are also just the 2nd team from the Caribbean to qualify for a Women's World Cup and will be slotted into Group D with England, Denmark, and China. Wayne Cunningham.
Olympian and 5-time World Championship 100-meter gold medalist Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce has been nominated for the 2023 Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year Award. The award recognizes the world's greatest athletes and teams and the inspirational power of sport. Fraser-Pryce, along with American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, are from track and field in the 6 female nominees. Alpine skier Michaela Schifrin and Fraser-Pryce are each bidding to win the Sportswoman of the Year award for the first time after being nominated 5 times previously. Fraser-Pryce is looking to follow in the footsteps of Elaine Thompson-Herah, who became the first Jamaican woman to win this award in 2022. Usain Bolt was the first Jamaican to lift the award and went on to do so 4 times. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, Rafael Nadal, and Stephen Curry are among the male nominees for this year. In cricket, the West Indies has included Akeem Jordan in the 15-member squad for the upcoming 2-test series against South Africa, and it's a dream come true for the right-arm seam bowler who plays for Barbados Pride.
A call from the Cricket West Indies selection panel is one players in the region eagerly accept. Akeem Jordan almost inadvertently dismissed lead selector Dr. Desmond Haynes.
I had a missed call on my phone. I didn't know who it was, so I was like, what's this strange number that calling me? So then I returned the phone call and the body was like, hi, Desmond? And I was like, Desmond? You got the wrong number. And then Zach was like, yo, that's Desmond. I was like, oh, hi, Desi. I was like, hi, Desi, you know. He was like, then he brought the news to me, and I was like, I was just in disbelief, you know. I had bought some food from Heritage Key, and I couldn't get to eat. I actually had to give it away. That's how the news struck me.
The bowler had different aspirations as a youngster.
Yes, I was an opening batsman at first when I first went into secondary school, and then I started only bowling like from in 3rd form. You know, but my batting, to me, like, I love batting. Everyone knows that I love batting. I take it very seriously. I try to hit as much balls as I can. I do whatever I think is right for me to get better at my batting. So I work extremely hard on my batting as well as my bowling and fielding.
Jordan is full of admiration for another recent addition to the West Indies Test squad, Tejnarayan Chandapol.
Tej, I played against Tej once. Didn't get him out. I actually, that innings was chanceless, that 170 he scored against us. So, look at Tej, like, I think that his story is incredible, you know, because I remember before he played us, when he scored the 170 something, that was last year, he wasn't supposed to play that game, you know, and then I think it was Vishal Singh that got sick, and he came in. And then, I don't know, like, something just changed in him, and he was like, yeah, this is my time now. And he went on to score 170, and he scored another 100 after that. And then, like, to come at debut against Australia, the way he did, I thought it was phenomenal. Like.
The first test versus South Africa begins on Tuesday at the Super Sports Park in Centurion. Wayne Cunningham, TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. I am Maya Chung. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.